Hi, everybody. Hope that you are doing fabulous today. This is Dawn here at Twin Hearts Ablaze, just with a brief check-in to talk about something that that I was shown in my own personal journey that I feel like could be helpful for some of you out there, which is this idea of really allowing yourself to be content with the whole of who you are and to let it be enough as it is in its current state. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that many of us have divine feminines, I'm speaking to here in particular, have been shown beautiful visions or specific scenarios of what it looks like and to live fully on a new earth, to be fulfilling in various ways the mission or life purpose that many of us have had glimpses of from for many years, many of us. And so we always have that sort of ideal in our hearts and minds. And what I was shown quite clearly after this latest little wasn't too serious, but I was a little bit just a little bit of a dip on the journey, which was just sort of I would call it a malaise, or just a not exhaustion, but just tired of the um, same old, feeling like things are, on the one hand, things are picking up, but nothing much seems to be changing in terms of the where we perceive ourselves to be along that continuum of the journey. And it's not a line, is it? It's definitely a spiral that is taking us ultimately higher and deeper at the same time. It is a multi-dimensional journey that we're on, and yet it can appear many times that we're standing still, or that there's certainly no change in the outward experience of our lives in terms of what we would perceive to be thriving, for example, or whether you're looking specifically at the goal of reunion and actively bringing forward the great work that we are all here to bring forward in partnership. It can appear often that there is no progress being made, or that things are stalled out, or otherwise there's just a sameness to a monotony, if you will. And so there are two things I want to say. One is that they were showing me quite clearly that sometimes that ideal, it's a gift, and yet it can sometimes, because we are so affixed to that particular image, which is really just an image, that it can be an impediment or a delay, and it can actually close us off to what might be there in any given moment for us to receive fully, which is always a gift that we have given ourselves in many ways, and that Spirit is gracing us with in this life. So that's the first thing, is that we've got to we want to maintain our connection to what we have been shown, if that still feels valid, but remain open to new ways of moving forward and deeper into ourselves and who we are. One of the dangers of filming outside like this, and I know the lighting's not great, but you know what? This is me. I just I love being outside. I love being in nature. I know I'm super cash today, but I hit the off button by accident, so sorry about that. The other, so the first is realizing that there are it can be tricky. We don't want to necessarily toss out any images that we have been shown, but at the same time, we don't want to fix ourselves to those in such a way that we limit what's possible in the span of any given moment, or of our lives, of course. And then the second part of that is that I was shown is that there's so leaving room for the surprise is part of the message there. And then the second part of that is that this is a multidimensional reality that we are stepping into. And I'll put a little excerpt from one of the Cultivating Essence books below if you want to read that. I don't remember the exact words right now, but I love the phrasing of that, and so I will put that below. But because it is multidimensional, it is important for us to understand that we are creating as we go. And so there's never, there never was intended to be a fixed outcome and or a fixed destination or a fixed point from which we operate. We're living, breathing beings here on a living, breathing planet with other living, breathing beings, all of us with free will. You know, humanity, it's the gift of humanity. And some of us sometimes are like, oh, it's, you know, kind of a curse as well. And yet it's the beauty of this life unfolding. So, yeah, I just really wanted to pop in and share that today and say much love. And oh, the other thing is, you know, what this led me to, these, you know, kind of mini awarenesses, if you will, was, you know, just a reaffirmation of how the smallest, what we perceive to be the smallest things sometimes can be the greatest gifts of who we are. You know, for me, I was reminded in a conversation I had with a friend this morning, and again, a couple of days ago, I had an experience where I was just, you know, out walking, and I had a really cool, beautiful experience, and that is where I have my deepest connection to myself and to spirit is often when I am just kind of out and about and connected to nature, and I feel the flow of life, you know, is running through me, and I feel that I am my best self and able to give the most, ironically, when I am often, you know, just on these walks in nature, just daydreaming, what, you know, some people would call daydreaming, but it's also a deep connection to spirit and to, you know, just all that is in this beautiful world. So it's important that we treasure those things about the uniqueness of who we are. And what is that for you? And how could you today just take a moment to really be in that connection and to celebrate it? Because that's the way we're going to be led further and further into all of our dreams, the ones that we don't even know about yet. And yes, that does include, you know, reunion, and that does include the fulfilling of what we came here to do, but more importantly, who we came to be. But that is now, it's here and now. And so I just want to encourage you to take some time today to really feel the wonder of that.